If you've been paying attention to the Joe Rogan Experience in the past couple of years, a thought like, man, this guy sure does seem to smoke an absurd amount of cigars might have went through your mind once or twice, and the observation is not baseless. It seems like half the time you see him these days, he's puffing away on a fat stogie. And when he's not doing that, he's either partaking in or discussing cigarettes, vaping, nicotine pouches, or chewing tobacco.
Nicotine is actually a medicine. Nicotine itself, I think it's got heart applications. See, like nicotine for heart.
I'll just come out and say it. Joe Rogan is a full-blown nicotine addict, and one that's completely in denial at that. And for long-time viewers of the podcast, you know that this is extremely ironic and a tad bit hypocritical because he used to be so anti-smoking. His one-time co-host and the co-creator of the Joe Rogan Experience, Brian Redband, was a smoker, and Joe would get on his case about it constantly, telling him that he needed to build a little bit of willpower and how bad it was and how stupid he was for doing it. One time, Joe even began to mock Redband for suggesting that cigarettes should be banned due to how addictive they are, and that inhaling marijuana smoke, which Joe did on a regular basis at the time, might also be harmful to one's lungs due to the mechanism of delivery.
First of all, I don't think you're inhaling nearly as much smoke when you smoke marijuana, because you're only doing it like maybe once or twice in a day. You're sucking on those stupid things all fucking day long. And on top of that, those things have 590
You take one
different
bong hit,
chemicals.
that's like a pack of cigarettes.
The fuck it is. It's going through water. That's not a water pipe, stupid. That's a cigarette.
All right, and cigarettes are going through filters.
Oh my God, Brian! Cigarettes are filled with chemicals that kill you. Can't stop. I'm gonna smoke in front of people. I don't care. I don't care if it stinks. It's like you just like it's like if someone who really likes to fart, you don't care. You just fart all over everybody.
I love farting all over people.
Just lighting cigarettes all over people.
Time for an intervention.
This stupidity in the air. It's just, and if you like cigarettes, man, that's all cool and everything. That's all cool in the gang. I'm just telling my friend here, don't be stupid.
And this comment that was left on the video hits the nail on the head. These days, Joe doesn't even bat an eye when telling people that he smokes a full cigar every single show.
On a show. No more than one.
No more than one.
More than one, I'll get sick.
Is it?
It kind of. Blech.
Do you get any nicotine from it?
Oh yeah.
You do.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody does.
Interesting.
That's why they smoke cigars. They don't just smoke it for the taste.
Right.
That's stupid.
That makes sense. But you don't inhale.
No, but you do. The tobacco is, it's pure tobacco, and you're getting that in your mouth, and you're getting the nicotine in your mouth.
So you get a buzz.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
And most cigars have between 100 and 200 grams of tobacco, same as a pack of cigarettes. And considering that he records upwards of 3 shows per week, he regularly takes in the nicotine equivalent of 3 packs of cigarettes. And that's besides all the Zyn pouches, the vaping, the cigarette before going on stage at the Comedy Mothership, which he seems to do every single week. And that's if you take him at his word of only smoking 1 cigar per show, because most nicotine addicts say they smoke a lot less than they do to give the appearance of being in control. All in all, Joe might be taking in more nicotine per week than a pack-a-day smoker, but yet he somehow managed to convince himself that he can't get addicted.
If I'm an everyday Zyn guy, if I stop it, am I gonna be like?
No, I stopped it the other day for 2 days. I said I want to see what it's like.
And
nothing.
Well, did you wait 3 days? What about 4 days? Are you gonna get itching?
I didn't have an itch. No,
I would think you would have got it earlier instead of later.
I liked them.
Are you an everyday Zinner?
Yeah, not every day. I take days off. But the thing is, like, I don't know if that's my biology. Like, I can just do things and stop doing them.
You see the mental gymnastics at work here? It's my biology. I'm special. I can just stop doing it and not miss it. It's not a big deal. Totally oblivious to the fact that he didn't actually stop doing anything because he was still smoking cigars regularly, so he was still taking in nicotine just like he always was. That's like an alcoholic saying that he quit drinking beer and it was super easy while still drinking hard alcohol every single day. You're addicted to the drug, not the delivery mechanism through which you choose to take it in. Like if a heroin addict came up to you and said, hey, I'm good now. You don't got to worry about me. I don't shoot heroin anymore. I just smoke it now. You probably think that that's the dumbest logic in the world. That's because it is. But every single addict has that logic, be it replacing hard alcohol with beer or vice versa, opiates that you take with opiates that you shoot or snort, or even something small like your daily energy drink with a cup of coffee or 2. And that's how I know that Joe is fully down the slope, because he's trying to pretend like his brain chemistry is somehow totally different from everyone else, and the drug being packaged one way is somehow completely different from the same drug being packaged in a different way.
I was hanging out with Schaub at Schultz's wedding, and he takes those little dip pouches, shoves them in his mouth.
Fuck
he
that.
grabbed 3 of those motherfuckers and stuck them inside his cheek like a squirrel. And I go, what are you doing? He goes, I'm an addict.
because I'm a straight addict.
Say what you will about Brendan Schaub, but at least he's not in denial. And I think this belief about not being able to get addicted to extremely addictive substances was implanted in Joe's head by some of his friends who saw that he was dedicated and regimented when it came to working out and somehow thought that translated into being addiction proof.
Get one of those blue cigarette things and I'll suck on them before a show.
Nicotine?
Yeah, because it's not
crazy?
nicotine. No, it's not nicotine that you have to worry about. Nicotine is actually has health benefits.
I thought nicotine's what's addictive.
I don't know, man. It doesn't work like that with me.
Do you crave the e-cigarette more?
No. I might not have one for a month, and then sometimes I like to suck on them before a show.
You're an orangutan, though. Your body doesn't react the way other people's.
Now, I'm not a big believer in addictive personalities. I believe that anyone can get addicted to anything that's addictive. The dopamine reward system in our brains works exactly the same way for everyone, and it's really just a matter of circumstance, constitution, availability, and ignorance. But if there is a guy out there that's more susceptible to addiction than anyone else, it's probably the guy that was addicted to caffeine and video games.
I was going way too hard at one point in time writing.
Yeah.
Where I would make a pot of fucking coffee and I would down that shit at like 9 p.m. and write till 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, just jacked out of my mind on coffee.
Wow.
And when I tried to quit that, I had a problem. I had headaches. Like my head was like, oh. Like my body was like, you're gonna have to deal with a ridiculous amount of stimulants over the course of like 7 hours. All right, gear up. And then once I shut the fucking fun farm down, they were like, hey, where's all our fucking...
We got used to that.
Come on, bro.
Is it true you used to spend like tens of thousands of dollars on high-speed internet to play a video game better?
I spent a lot of money having a T1 line installed in my house.
Shut the up.
Yeah.
To play what?
To play Quake.
What is Quake?
Quake is an amazing 3D online deathmatch game. People get really good at it.
I was curious if that was true.
So addictive. It was so addictive. I had a quick cold turkey, and it's so exciting. It's so much more exciting than literally anything else that's a game.
It's easy to convince yourself that you're not addicted when you do something all the time. You just tell yourself that you like it. People like things all the time. Some people really like shrimp, but if somebody was standing at his friend's wedding with some shrimp flakes in his pocket, popping them in his mouth and saying that he can't have the real thing right now, but this will do for now, people would immediately get concerned. They'd think that he's either an addict or autistic. And no, I'm not going to make a Brendan Schaub joke here. I guarantee you that it would become glaringly obvious that Joe Rogan is a full-blown nicotine addict if he had to quit taking nicotine in any form for a period any longer than 72 hours. And that's being pretty generous. Notice how he still smokes cigars during Sober October, which was almost a light bulb moment for him.
Ari and I were smoking cigars once in the beginning of Sober October. We're like, are we cheating? I kind of feel like we're cheating. I feel like I'm getting kind of high. People get high from cigars, 100%. Yeah.
But I think the funniest part about this whole situation is that Joe, who has never quit nicotine, believes that he's fully qualified to give people advice on quitting nicotine.
I had this book called The Easy Way to Stop Smoking. And everybody that I've got to read the book, they've stopped. But I've never finished it.
What does it tell you to do?
So the premise of it is basically like they, instead of telling you the reasons you shouldn't smoke, they attack the reasons why you say you smoke. Like all the reasons people give, and they show you that they're just excuses, that you're just as much of an addict as a crackhead or...
That doesn't help you.
No?
I think what helps people is things like ibogaine.
Both of the people involved in this conversation are addicted to nicotine, but ironically, the guy that Joe is attempting to give advice to is a lot less addicted than he is because he's reached a stage where he's no longer in denial. So quitting will be a lot easier for him because he realizes that there is an existing problem, while Joe will endlessly keep going back to it when he gets just a little bit uncomfortable, and justifying it to himself is simply liking it. And the book that was mentioned is called The Easy Way to Quit Smoking by Alan Carr, and it's widely considered to be the best way to quit smoking. Alan Carr dedicated decades of his life to the Easy Way method, has got clinics all over the world, and an absolutely insane first-time permanent success rate of over 55%. It's been applied to other addictions like alcoholism with a similar success rate, and has been endorsed by several celebrities like Ellen DeGeneres, Ashton Kutcher, and Anthony Hopkins, who quit using the book and never went back. It would not be hyperbole to say that Alan Carr has cured millions of addicts. But you're right, Joe.
That doesn't help you.
No?
I think what helps people is things like ibogaine.
Joe talks directly out of his ass a lot about this subject, like saying that nicotine is actually a beneficial substance.
Nicotine by itself is not bad, which sounds so crazy. And it's also a nootropic, meaning like it stimulates cognitive function.
Pure nicotine is classified as a poison, and taking in one shot glass of it will literally end your life. In bearable doses, in the short term, it spikes your blood pressure and adrenaline, increasing your chance of getting a heart attack, and in the long term, it narrows and hardens your arteries, and that's just nicotine, not tobacco. So it'd probably be kind of an asshole move to offer to somebody that doesn't have an issue with it and get them hooked.
Nicotine as a chemical is not bad for you. What's bad for you is the delivery system of cigarettes. Particularly cigarettes if you buy like cigarettes with chemicals in them. So there's those what are those American spirits?
Yeah, whatever
what are they called?
American something.
Spirits?
That's like a marketing. I don't think that's true.
They're not. They have shit in them too.
Of course, they're cigarettes.
No, but I think it's different.
I thought they were just supposed to be a paper and a tobacco.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
Oh, those liars. Okay, nicotine for Alzheimer's disease. There's no evidence from randomized controlled trials to support the use of nicotine as a treatment for Alzheimer's disease. So what was the thing that, wasn't there something about a connection between the way nicotine works and some sort of there's something I read.
Before you get me addicted to these things, if I put this in my mouth,
am I gonna be scratching like fucking Tyrone?
If I start it, and I'm gonna,
Sarah, I do nicotine.
If I'm an everyday, what is this called again?
Zyn.
If I'm an everyday Zyn guy, if I stop it, am I gonna be like?
No, I stopped it the other day for 2 days.
Joe thinks that Zyn is some amazing new product. I mean, nicotine without the tobacco. Who would have thunk? Dude, it's just repackaged nicotine gum that's existed since 1971. And the only reason it exists is because cigarettes, dip, and cigars are losing popularity among the younger generations. It's the same exact drug repackaged to be more attractive to kids, but instead it hooked a 56-year-old man. It's not a competitor or an alternative to tobacco. It's literally owned by Philip Morris, the same exact company that owns every single cigarette brand from Marlboro to Parliament.
In 2022, tobacco giant Philip Morris International acquired Swedish Match in a $16 billion deal. Just last year, Philip Morris shipped 385 million Zyn cans in the US, and this year, the company forecasts shipment volumes of about 520 million cans.
And is being marketed as a replacement for smoking, something to help wean people off.
Some public health experts say nicotine pouches like Zyn could save lives by helping adult cigarette smokers switch to a much safer alternative.
Sound familiar? That's the same exact advertisement strategy that was used by vaping companies 10 years ago. Remember how clean and healthy that was supposed to be? Yeah, how's that popcorn lung doing? And since we're on the topic of tobacco companies repackaging the same exact product, Joe has been a nicotine addict for way longer than he realizes.
Something about the cigarette that just gives you like some weird relief. It's just like
yeah.
The head rush thing that you get out of it is like a weird little escape valve.
Sure.
It's like a release valve. Just
All right. Yeah. When I don't have them, though, I don't really miss them. So that's kind of good.
That's very good. You know? Yeah, I got into blunts from Charlie Murphy, when I was on that tour with him.
Yeah.
Because he would only roll blunts. And he's like, it's the combination of the nicotine and the weed. I was like, oh my God, he's right.
It is good.
It's a better combination.
It's good.
That's a good combination. Like pre-show combination, there's nothing like a blunt.
So if weed isn't physically addictive, why do you think you like blunts so much? All this time, Joe was ragging on Red Band for smoking cigarettes, and he was doing essentially the same exact thing. Blunts to occasional cigarettes to vaping to every single day cigar smoking to nicotine pouches. It's all right there. Joe Rogan's a nicotine addict. I feel like I proved my point here. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Like the video if you liked it, dislike if you didn't, subscribe, and I will see you soon.